So over many years, I've been a big supporter of Google Pixel phones. And I say supporter because I do know that there are questionable things that Google does when it comes to the Pixel lineup that's not always the best choice or the best thing for us, right? I don't look at Google Pixels as they're the perfect phone out there, but they are nearly a perfect phone, yielding a nearly perfect experience for me. So welcome to the video. Before I get started into it, if you guys could do me a solid, smash that like button, I would truly appreciate it. It only takes a second, right down there below, as well as turning on bell notifications so you guys don't miss a video upload. And while I can sit here and tell you guys that the Pixel 9a is such a great phone, it's a good phone, it's, all this other stuff, really just kind of opening up my brain to you guys, maybe for those who even care out there. But the Pixel 9a tends to surprise me. This device, in my opinion, brings a very close experience to the Pixel 9. So much that, I wanted to kind of compare it side by side with the Pixel 9 over at the local Best Buy. However, they don't allow video recording in their stores. So yeah, I would be banished for life if I was to record in their store, which is understandable because there's customers and stuff walking around. But, when I look back at something like the Pixel 7a and think about, how it compares to the Pixel 7 or even the Pixel 8a or the 6a, I look at these devices and I'm like, on a scale, they bring a near to flagship experience. The earlier models like the Pixel 3a, that I would say that's like at an 86% close to the Pixel 3. The 4a is like an 85% close to the Pixel 4. The 5 and the 5a are very on point with each other, even with the 4a 5G. But when you go to the Pixel 6a, it gives about a 91% near to Pixel 6 experience. 93% for the Pixel 7a to the 7, and 93% from the Pixel 8a to the 8. So I was thinking that I was going to get about the same thing with the Pixel 9a. But it's furthest from the truth. Okay, besides holding the phone in your hand and realizing that it has a box, rectangular finish to it and whatnot, actually using the phone, not to test to see if the cameras are good or any of that, but just actually using it for your day-to-day operations, your day-to-day usage, and you will be pleasantly surprised how the Pixel 9a is. Like I said, from my experience, this thing is about a 98.7% on my scale, close to a Pixel 9 experience, to be quite honest with people. I mean, very close, very close. And so with that, I'm just like, this comes very close to that experience. What is the point of getting a Pixel 9? But of course, I can answer that, why someone would choose a Pixel 9 over this. Even though it's a $300 difference between the two devices, why some people would choose a Pixel 9. If you're a stickler for body design and, that's going to be the ultimate reason why you want that camera bar, the bender face, then you would get the Pixel 9, right? Since it's got the camera bar. If you are someone that has to have a glass phone with, glass and metal phone and not, glass and plastic, you will get a Pixel 9. If you want something of this size, this is the same size as the Pixel 9, but you want Pro features, you would get the Pixel 9 Pro. So those would be reasons why you would go for those devices and spend a little bit more for them, especially with the Pixel 9 Pro having the additional telephoto sensor. But the Pixel 9a bringing a very close experience to the Pixel 9. This is the ultimate budget. Now, I know that there's other mid-range devices out there, OnePlus 13R, and you have all these other mid-range devices that people can name off their fingers and say, this is the reason why I say it's better than the Pixel 9a. And of course, because even if we try to say that we are not biased, there is a slight little bit of being biased in what we think and what we share of our thoughts. Okay? Somebody can tell me 1,001 reasons why, a Samsung Galaxy S21 is like the more dominant phone over my Pixel 9a, and they can name off some very good, specific reasons why. But that's just because they're so in tune with Samsung that they already have a biased mindset. So do I. So do a lot of creators out there who even say that they're not biased. have a little bit of it, because when it comes to these things, it's about perspectives. And my perspective is something like this, that I can save money in getting, right? $499 for the Pixel 9a versus, was it $799 for the Pixel 9? I'm definitely going to go for the 9a. Saves $300 in cash that I can keep in my pocket. It gives me the near exact same experience as the Pixel 9. And I've used them side by side. Like, I mean, I didn't record, but yes, I did use the Pixel 9 alongside for this. And the Pixel 9 feels really good in the hand. It does feel better than this in the hand. When you're holding it, of course it's going to feel premium, and of course that it's going to yield this flagship feel that everyone kind of like boils down to: glass back, metal rail, side rails, and weight. But that's really all it is, right? It's a feeling in the hand. Software performance is another thing, and this thing keeps up with the Pixel 9 really good, almost identical. Like, if I could mask these things where it would only show the display and display alone, I almost can guarantee nobody would be able to tell the difference between the Pixel 9a and the Pixel 9. They are so close. And that's why I feel like that the Pixel 9a is such the ultimate budget device right now. I mean, it literally crushes all the Pixels when it comes to battery life. I dubbed this the new battery king. And the previous battery king, which was the Pixel 5a, was a very solid and very, not powerful, but like, power saving phone. Like, not really power saving. It just had a lot of power to it to power it on all day. Battery life, that thing was the champion in my book. It was always a champion in my book. And this replaced it. But the fear of the battery on this phone that people are talking about with the battery health assistant, like, look, people gotta stop freaking out over things. Just because it said in black and white that this is going to have the battery health assistant, which, over time, once you've passed 200 charge cycles, that it's going to lower your charging voltage, and that it's going to begin, degrading cap your battery, right? So 5100 milliamps is not going to be what it's holding 2 years from now. But see, here's the thing when it comes to that. 200 charge cycles. First of all, a charge cycle is one complete 0 to 100%. But no, it doesn't mean, okay, if I never let it, discharge to 0%, then I'll never use a charge cycle count. No, what it means is that when it has charged up the battery to where it has equaled the amount of 100%. Example, you let it discharge to 50%, you put it on a charger, it charges up to 100%. That's half a charge cycle. You do it the following day, that's one full charge cycle, right? 50 times 2 is 100. So you do the math in how far you let the battery discharge, and then whatever you charge it up one day, the remaining that it takes to get, that number, like you charge it, from 67% up, whatever, it takes to get to 100 from that point, then that's how much you would charge up the next day, and it would be considered one full charge cycle. 200 of those. You're not going to really be hitting that with this phone, since it is, in my opinion, the new battery king. You're just not. It's not happening. Okay? You are more than likely to upgrade to a new device next year before you hit 200 charge cycles. Now, I'm not saying that there's nobody out there that could reach 200 charge cycles before 1 year's time with the Pixel 9a, but most people won't. This phone is very capable at holding a charge, and it does so very well. So I'm not concerned about the battery health assistant that is coming to the Pixel 9a. Cameras and all that, lots of people touch base with cameras. There are tons of YouTube videos where people are showcasing what the Pixel 9a cameras can do. I have a few videos, so I don't even really need to go touch base back with it. But I do have to point out the fact that with videography, it has stepped up even more. And we started to see a shift and change in the Google Pixel 8a. That was the very first noticeable change when it came to videography with a Pixel device, or even the Pixel A series device. And the Pixel 9a is maintaining that, which, if you guys don't know, most of my videos shot in the last month has been from the Pixel 9a. The content that I've uploaded either on here, my main channel, or Short Side of Tech, which is my shorts channel. If you're not subscribed to that, link in the description, go subscribe to it if you prefer short form content. I upload every other day on that channel. But yeah, I make content for both channels using the Pixel 9a. The size of it is decent. I wish it would have been shorter. I like more compact phones, but that's just me. But for the size of what it is, I can handle it, right? It's not a whopping phablet like we used to have back in the day, 7-inch Galaxy phone. Remember that one? The Galaxy Mega? Whew, that thing was huge. But, this is slightly compact. From side to sides, I'm able to grip it, but the display is on the tall side. And, it's got that boxy feel. Some people say this grips better than rounded sides. Other people like rounded sides over this. Again, that's preference. Honestly, the Pixel 9a, in my opinion, the way that I feel about the phone, it just literally changes a chapter in the A series again. Okay, we had the very first ones from the Pixel 3a up to the Pixel 5a. And that was chapter 1. Chapter 2 was the Pixel 6a up to the Pixel 8a. And now the Pixel 9a turns a new page, which does have me a bit worried what the Pixel 10a is going to bring to the table. Will the Pixel 10a be the one that, raises the price from $499 starting to maybe move up and maybe be like $699 starting? I don't know, because we have let these companies get out of hand with how much they charge us for a phone that people are willing to pay what it would cost to buy a decent used car nowadays. And because these companies know that, they can make foldable tech and charge it at near $2,000, and then make a flagship device and charge it at $1,400 at most. That's insane. So you can only imagine what the Pixel 10a would be priced at if Google decides to price hike it next year when they release the 10a after the Pixel 10 releases this year. The only reason I point that out is because the Pixel 10 is rumored to have a price hike done to it. So I feel like that would affect the Pixel 10a, and we might see the base model starting at $599 is what we could see next year, 2026. But at the end of the day, if that happens and I don't feel like upgrading, I know the Pixel 9a will carry me on for 7 more generations of Android.